I had ordered pan and fluids and things. Been sitting around for 5 years. They said that this was the wrong fluid and filter. I don't get it, but it is. Over here at Werkstatt, BMW only over here near my house, picking up the Phantom. Just had a transmission fluid done to it. Paper things, airplanes flying over. Good Lord. Okay, so I wanted to get the transmission serviced, and basically, car has 75,792 miles, and I thought, well, since I just done the oil change, I wanted to go ahead and do a transmission flush. I was going to do it myself. Now, I've had this filter and fluid sitting around since 2019 that I bought for my old Phantom, the other one I used to have. And, you know, I talked to Car Wizard. He goes, oh man, it's, have you done this before? I'm like, no. So I decided to bring it here. Now, the filter and fluid that I brought, they said is the wrong one. And I guess, you know, I'm not saying they're lying to me, but they just said it was the wrong one. And they said, look, you're going to have to pay for the proper filter and fluids because what you brought us is not the correct stuff. I said, oh, okay. Well, fine. Long story short, how much was a transmission pan drop fluid change for a 2006 Rolls-Royce Phantom? $1,100, almost $1,200, what they charged me. Now, I said, hey guys, it's got a bit of an oil leak because it's a BMW product. Of course it leaks oil. That's what they do. They said, yeah, we had a look, and the valve covers are leaking as well as the top of your timing cover. You've got some small leaks there. I go, okay, well, how much is that going to cost to fix? $4,000, they quoted me. $4,000. Now, I always see the same comments from the same blabbermouths on here. They go, well, the Rolls Royce, if you can't afford to fix it, you can't afford to own it. That's why I drive a Toyota Camry. Well, here's the deal. You know, well, I like to have super nice stuff and do it on the cheap, right? That's the whole point of this whole thing, you know, because I'm just a poor old white trash mechanic that drives a Rolls Royce Phantom every day. And how I've managed to do that is by figuring out ways to make this a little bit more affordable. Now, if I do it myself, that's going to suck. I've watched a couple of videos on what it takes to do it. And, you know, you're going to pull the whole top in. There's all these plastics and hoses. The problem is a lot of those plastics fail. And you take the hoses apart and then they break, you know, and all that happens. So I already know that bill's going to go up. They're going to get in there and they're going to say, well, we had to replace this coolant hose. We had to replace this fitting. We found that this was bad and that was bad. Next thing you know, 4,000 is 5,000. And then it's 6,000. And then, you know, now if you were doing a BMW 760 Li, just like Car Wizard did a video on this, he goes, look, if you bring in a 2004, 2006 760 Li with the same motor in it, BMW, it wouldn't be worth fixing it because, you know, the whole car is only worth $5,000. But when you have a $100,000 Rolls Royce, you know, this car is easily worth $100,000. It's something you want to fix. So I said, okay, it's going to have to be done. I don't want to do it right now, though. I want to wait until it's time to do something bigger. Maybe timing chains or something of that nature when you're having to pull that part of the motor apart anyway. Because here's the deal. A quart of oil is like, let's say $10, right? I could buy 500 quarts of oil for the same amount of money as $4,000. Now, it's not leaking bad. It's just like a little leak. Like, I put a quart of oil in it every couple of months or something, you know what I mean? I mean, it burns oil anyway. That's just what it do. And the thing about it is that, like, sometimes you have to look at your options on these cars and go, okay, all right, I could put a quart of oil in it once a month, for the next 20 years. We're going to see if the oil, listen, if it affected the performance, if it was smelling, if it was smoking, if it was gushing oil, okay, you got an argument. Little bitty oil leak. I had maybe a 10 or 12 inch little puddle of oil under the car. I was like, meh. And that's from being parked there for 3 years. It's not that big a deal. You know, every once in a while, I'll hose the thing off, put a little degreaser on there, pull it into my pit, spray it off with some brake clean or whatever, take a look at it. I watched some of Project Farm's videos, and if you haven't seen them on YouTube, they're great because they do their own product testing. And they tested out some of the best leak test stop leaks out there, the Lucases and the Bardolls and the Blue Devil, and they found that this AT205, I think is what it's called, was the best. And it's $20 a bottle. So I ordered a case of that off of Amazon. I'm going to pour a couple of bottles of that in here and see if it makes a difference at all. What do I got to lose, right? Because like if it makes it worse, I'll just get the repair done. I had, you know, oh, you can't afford to do it. I can afford it. All right. I can afford to go buy 5 of these fucking cars if I want. It's just, you know, nobody likes to throw away money and be stupid, right? I'm not an idiot. I don't just spend money for no reason. Like $4,000 is a lot of money for anybody. It doesn't matter what you do for a living. You know, you don't want to just waste money. So the point is that I'm going to try a couple of things to see if I can fix it first. Pulling into the estate. There it is. That's what I needed. I got homeboy driving my Maserati behind me. This is taking too long. All right, now I'm gonna put this thing off in the new garage into the box. So I just realized what a pain in the ass this is gonna be. Let's see if I can do this in one failed swoop. What do you think? All right, let's see here. This is the first time I've ever parked it in the box. There it is. Let's see, I want to favor the driver's side. And there's the coming up on it. Smooth as butter. That ramp is great.
Yeah?
Dude, it was like nothing.
Yeah, butter, right?
All right, let me see how far back I gotta go. First time in the box. I really wish I'd have been further over. Well, that's an annoying damn sound right there. That beeping noise. Where am I? Let me turn this off.
About a foot?
No, but where the towel is.
About a foot behind the front of the car.
That's probably about right.
It's under the engine.
I really wish I was over further. I think I'd like to retry this. I'm gonna try doing this again. Let's see. Now I've lifted the car this time. Let me pop my screen out. Now, if I go into reverse for a second, it'll activate the PDC and go back to drive. It'll still be there. Now I can do a thing where I hit my brights. Watch this, hit the brights. And now I have a camera of the left and the right coming out of the front. I can swap between those or the cam. But I'm gonna try this again because I wanna see, and press my luck here, roll down the windows. Roll down the windows so you can hear the sound of the scrape. So I wanna get as far over to the right as I can. And what I might do is, if I flip this switch here, my mirror goes down. Look at that. Now I can I want to cheat as far over to this side is safe. Okay. I could still access the trunk. So check this out. If I go forward again, and then I flip that switch, I can see this area. Now I can tell where the nose is. Isn't that cool? That was high tech back in the day. You gotta understand. I mean, back in 2006, they didn't have that kind of stuff on most cars. All right, before I turn it off, look at that. Look at that. And if that door was open, look at that. That's what I wanted to see. Oh God, I got tons of room. Oh my God. Take a stroll all the way around this thing. Let me turn this ventilation on. Okay, that sounds terrible. We gotta fix that fan. Oh my gosh, I got tons of room. This is a huge car. That thing sounds terrible. All right, we gotta fix this. I just gotta get another one of those. What the fuck? Anyway, I have a ton of room back here. Look at this. I was worried that this thing wasn't gonna fit. Open the trunk up. Get this stuff out of here. I'll tell Hippie to grab this stuff and put it into the storage for me. Yeah, man, tons of room. So, yeah, how about that? I love it. This box is great. So we put a towel down to keep the floor from getting dirty because our plan is we're gonna paint this real soon. I'm gonna go get some Rust-Oleum oil base. We're gonna paint this ramp and this floor a nice glorious glossy color, and then I guess what I'll do for this oil leak is I will go out and buy a pan with a little diaper in it. We'll keep that in there for just such occasions, and I'll be able to monitor it. I'm using a towel. I'm gonna see how much is leaking. If it's leaking significantly at all, I'll go ahead and pay the $4,000 and get it fixed because I love my baby. But if it's just a tiny little leak, we'll just let it slide. Because really, you know, if I don't know if I can do this with one hand here. I like to have a continuity of shooting, if that makes sense. Somebody was asking about the welds on here, what they were like. That's some of the welds. Not bad. I mean, the dude was stick welding it out. You know, this is all gonna get painted. Anyway, let's see if I can do this one-handed. I can't. Okay, there we go. Sorry. I know that it's leaking on this side. So basically, I don't even smell really any oil. I mean, it smells like an engine. But here are the valve covers here. So all this has to come off. All this plastic has to come off in order to get to that. And then underneath there, the front top half of this timing cover, we recently have replaced those pumps. Oh, that's hot. That's cool. We've replaced both of these fuel pumps on each side, and then all of the injectors. And then I did all the plugs. The plugs were quite easy to get to. There they are. I did the plugs on this thing myself, and it didn't take me not even an hour. But all this has to come off, which means all those gaskets have to be replaced on the intake and everything, because this whole top has to come off. So you have to start with taking off all this plastic up here. That all has to come off. This all has to come off. All this connection, vacuum and otherwise has to come off. So, you know, the leak is very small. It really is. So at this juncture, I don't think it's worth it to do it, to pay for it, in my personal opinion. The motor's really clean. And also, I like to detail this motor frequently. And so probably what I'll do is I'll make it the habit of waiting till it's cool, washing both sides of the engine, do a little degreasing. I may actually do that in my pit as well, like I said, with a little wash, and we'll keep an eye on it, and you know, we'll just monitor it, because the whole trick to owning one of these older Rolls Royces is this car is getting closer to 20 years old now, and it still looks great, and it's still valuable. It's still worth about 100 grand. You can pick them up for less. I do see them all the time for like 60, 80 grand. But in very poor condition and needing a lot of work. And listen, I try to keep things up on it as much as possible. The black wheels I like. Now, a lot of people have noticed that this wing over here, fender, they call it a wing, has been repainted. And it wasn't blended properly. Now, if you're just standing right here, can you tell? No, you can't. If I was just walking by, I'm like, oh, you can't tell that there's a color change between here and there. But that's because it's a pearlescent. When it's in the direct sun and you're looking at it from another angle, yeah, you can't even really tell from here. You can just I don't know, I can't tell from here. But in certain angles in the bright light, this wing is a different color. It's been repainted. Now, in order to fix that properly, we'd have to blend this whole side of the car. I mean, if they just did the whole wing and these two doors, and if they just blended it in, you know, Gene Winfield basically invented the fade hot rod guy. We'd have to have somebody really good who could fade that in. But I thought about another idea. Everybody knows I love a red. There was a hotel in Macau that ordered, I think, 20 or 30 of these custom Rolls Royces in red. They're red and black with like a checker interior. They were kind of weird looking, but I've seen these done in red. They're audacious, they're loud, they're obnoxious, they're gauche, whatever the word you want to use. A lot of the traditional Brits will go, red Rolls Royce, it's you know, there's no way that you could ever paint a Rolls Royce red. It's just, you know, whatever. These people are snobs. It's the difference between Americans and England. There's a reason why the Queen is not on our money. I love British culture. I do. I love tea. I love English breakfast. I love British cars. But there's no bigger snob than some British dude that doesn't own one of these that has an opinion about it. I'm just saying. I read these comments all the time. So I was thinking about wrapping this sumbitch red. Red. With the black wheels, and then murdered out. I was trying to decide if I wanted to keep the chrome, or the stainless rather, the bright work, or if I should murder it out black. So I'll put up pictures of it. I've seen these done in black. So they do the grill in black, the trim in black with red, or leave them I'm more keen to just leave it the chrome, or the stainless, I should say, the bright work. That's why they call it bright work. But you know, because it's going to probably cost 10 grand to fade that in, and I was like, for $5 I could wrap this thing, or maybe less. If you're in Las Vegas and you run a vehicle wrap place and you want to wrap this car into a partnership with me and we do a promotion, we'll get 1 million views of it. I'll make your shop famous, give me a nice discount, and we'll wrap the car, and we'll do it correct, and it'll be sick. Because here's the cool thing about it. I can wrap it, drive around like that for a couple of years or however long I want, and then you can unwrap it. My first Phantom was wrapped white and black, and you know what? In an afternoon, we peeled the shit off, and then it was silver underneath, just like this one. Anyway, so that's the saga of the Rolls Royce and its oil leak and getting the transmission flush and how much it cost. I want to try to post more Rolls Royce content because for some reason, it's what people want the most. As you know, if you watched the video from yesterday, we just picked up a Corniche. Corniche, one of the most desirable cars of all time. And I have to shoot another video of this car today. So this car is going to be one of my next projects. I literally need to go do this video today. So here's the Corniche, which is 1973 Corniche convertible. And it's gonna need a lot. This is a barn find car. And if you're into Rolls-Royce content, either new stuff or old stuff, this is my 4th Rolls-Royce. My Silver Shadow's at another shop getting a bunch of work done to it. But this thing, wow. Wow. All right. Listen, I'm Videobob. For anyone I offended, I apologize that you were offended. Girl pair. Thanks for watching. I'm Videobob.
Hey, everybody watching Videobob.
Hey, everybody watching Videobob.
He's about fun, this guy. Look at the cars he has. Look what he brings you guys. Tune into
Microphone.
Videobob. Please subscribe and keep the good work going.
Hello, Videobob. Videobob.